This week in GLP-1 news, we have our first generic GLP-1, so Victoza or liraglutide generic, and the Treat and Reduce Obesity Act comes to a vote, and it's pretty exciting results.
Welcome to the Downsize News. Today is Monday, July 1st. We're Lorraine and Christopher Durham. We share the latest news, insights, and opinions on GLP-1 medications like Mounjaro, Zepbound, Wegovy, Ozempic, tirzepatide, and semaglutide.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. We are not doctors or medical professionals. Always consult a qualified healthcare professional before starting any weight loss medication or treatment.
We're just two people who have lost weight on Mounjaro, Zepbound, compounded tirzepatide.
So how much have you lost so far?
I want to say 50, but it's really 49. 49 pounds.
Since when?
Since we started September 29th of 2023.
And I'm down right at 70 pounds. Watch our weekly weigh-in if you'd like all the details. Our first story, Lorraine, why don't you take it away?
Sure. Teva Pharmaceuticals has introduced the first generic GLP-1 receptor agonist in the U.S., offering a crucial alternative amid shortage of incretin medications for type 2 diabetes and weight loss. The new generic Victoza, priced at $469.60 for a 2-pack and $704 for a 3-pack, is approximately 16 to 17% cheaper than the branded version. Generic Victoza, which is liraglutide injection 1.8 milligrams, is a once-daily injection.
It's a lot of injections.
Approved for managing type 2 diabetes in adults and children aged 10 and older, as well as for reducing the risk of cardiovascular events in adults with type 2 diabetes and heart disease. Despite its modest efficacy compared to newer GLP-1s, it remains a valuable treatment option. Victoza's patent expiration in late 2023 has allowed other companies to develop generic versions. Sandoz and Viatris are also working on generic Victoza options, with potential launches as early as December 2024. The entry of multiple generics is expected to further reduce prices, making diabetes care more affordable. While generic Victoza marks a significant advancement, generic versions of other GLP-1 medications like Ozempic and Wegovy won't be available for several years. Patents for these drugs extend well into the next decade, with Ozempic's patent expiring in 2032 in the U.S. and Mounjaro's in 2039.
They're baby drugs.
Currently, several generic medications, such as metformin and various sulfonylureas, are available. However, many newer treatments, including GLP-1s and SGLT2 inhibitors, remain under patent, keeping their costs high. The introduction of generic GLP-1s represents a critical step towards improving access to effective treatments. As more generics enter the market in 2025 and beyond, drug prices are expected to decline, offering hope to millions of patients. Victoza's going generic because its patent is expiring.
Its patent is expiring, and this is early generation of a GLP-1. It's not as effective.
Right.
It's a daily shot. That's a lot of shots.
I first heard of Victoza on the Oprah weight loss special because there was a teenage girl who her parents couldn't afford Ozempic, but she could afford Victoza. Victoza was approved for ages 10 and up. It might be a good option for kids.
This is still not cheap. And,
no, it's not cheap.
There's a value equation on how much are you paying and the efficacy of this.
Right. But 10 and up, I mean, that's... So. I think Wegovy is 12 and up, I think.
Yeah.
And then Mounjaro is 18 and up. Mounjaro and Zepbound, you have to be 18 or older.
Talk to your doctor about those sorts of things. And story number 2, in a bipartisan vote of 36-4, a House committee passed an amended version of the Treatment and Reduced Obesity Act, the TROA. The bill aims to allow Medicare to cover obesity medications with some limitations. Specifically, it will only cover new Medicare enrollees who have been taking these medications for at least a year before joining Medicare. This vote marks a pivotal moment for the bill, which has been reintroduced several times over the last decade, without ever coming up for a committee vote until now. Basically, there were laws in place that said Medicare could not pay for obesity medications. While this is fantastic progress, it's not the full victory we hoped for. The amended bill is quite limited and can best be described as significantly scaled back, meaning it won't cover everyone who needs these medications. Only a small group of new Medicare enrollees will benefit, those who have already taken obesity drugs before they enrolled. This limitation aims to address concerns regarding the potential prohibitive cost to the Congressional Budget Office. Despite the limitations, the Obesity Care Advocacy Network expressed excitement. They emphasized the importance of this step in ensuring Medicare beneficiaries have access to comprehensive obesity treatments. OCAN has been an advocate educating legislators and pushing for expanded access. They acknowledge the need to continue fighting for broader access and promise to keep pushing for more inclusive legislation. Representative Judy Chu from California, a Democrat, expressed disappointment over the pared-down bill, stating that it drastically reduces the number of seniors who will be covered. Committee Chair Jason Smith, a Republican from Missouri, acknowledged the desire for broader coverage but emphasized the need for incremental progress. The bill will now proceed to the full House. If it passes there, it will proceed to the Senate. It will become law if it passes both chambers and receives the President's endorsement. The current session of Congress ends on January 30th, 2025, so time is of the essence. Why does this matter? Well, for over 2 decades, Medicare hasn't covered weight loss drugs, leaving many without access to potentially life-changing treatments. We know how that can be. This vote is one of the first steps towards reversing that ban. With powerful FDA-approved drugs, this change could mean better health outcomes for millions of Americans. The ban on Medicare coverage for weight loss drugs has come into sharper relief in recent years with the approval of these powerful but pricey medications. This legislation could open up access to effective treatments for a broader population, potentially reducing the long-term health care costs associated with obesity-related conditions. What do you think?
I think Medicare should cover obesity medications. The reason why they don't is because right now they're so expensive. People are worried that they could bankrupt Medicare.
Yeah.
So I think that's why Bernie Sanders, we did another story on Bernie Sanders.
And it's coming up in a few minutes, absolutely.
Yeah. But this story is basically saying if you've been taking these medications before you start Medicare and then you start Medicare, you could continue them like a pre-existing condition that they're letting continue, which isn't really fair to everybody else that would like to take them. But
Yeah. And we're not eligible for Medicare, so it doesn't really impact our situation, but anybody is who this would be a great option for. All right.
In our third story, Novo Nordisk, the Danish pharma giant, is getting ready to launch its popular weight loss drug Wegovy in China. However, they're planning a careful and restricted release. Why? To avoid a global shortage. China just approved Wegovy, opening up one of the world's largest weight loss markets. Over half of China's adult population is overweight or obese, so the demand is expected to be huge.
Pun intended.
Novo Nordisk's head of international operations, Mazar Mike Dostar, explains why they can't fully open the floodgates just yet. He said the demand is enormously larger than the current supply. Duh. We can't launch on Monday and run out by Wednesday. Wegovy is the first and only GLP-1 treatment approved in China for long-term weight management. But Novo Nordisk's exclusivity won't last forever. The Chinese patent for semaglutide, Wegovy's active ingredient, will expire in 2026.
So that's coming up quick.
So China you have to patent it in each country?
Yeah, they're separate patents.
After that, cheaper generics and biosimilars will hit the market, driving prices down.
China, what do you think?
They can't keep any other country in stock. Why do they think they can keep China in stock? China is not just the biggest weight market; it's the biggest market. They got the most people. I don't know why you want to expand to more countries when you can't keep the supply filled in the countries you're already serving.
Because I think you're sitting in a boardroom and you're saying the opportunity to make money on this is unlimited. Let's go.
Well, then
we'll figure it out when we get there.
Make more, yeah.
And I think they're all announcing billions of dollars investments. It's obviously not enough. I think what we saw, the Eli Lilly CEO has clearly said that the shortages won't end until they have a pill option, and they're saying 12 to 15 more plants would barely dent the manufacturing capacity needs for today. So another Novo Nordisk story. As we said, the company behind Ozempic and Wegovy is making a huge move. Here's the billions of dollars investment. They just announced a $4.1 billion investment to a new facility in Clayton, North Carolina. It turns out our home state, North Carolina, is becoming the center of GLP-1 production. As we know, Eli Lilly also has a factory they're working on not far from our home. The new facility aims to increase the supply of Wegovy and Ozempic, which have been in high demand over the past year. Needless to say, that's a good deal. This will be Novo Nordisk's second fill and finish manufacturing plant. The new plant will produce current and future injectable treatments for obesity and other chronic illnesses. They're getting the medications shipped in. They're
Fill and finish.
Fill and finish, right? Mm-hmm. It's basically like bottling Coke, right?
They're putting it in the pens and sending them on the way.
But they're not making the semaglutide.
I guess it's all automated. It'd be fascinating to go to one of these plants and see
I'm sure
how they
it would.
do it.
We'd love to come tour. It's right down the road from us. Either one of you guys, we'd love to see the factory. Happy to do a video on it. Of course, this is going to be a massive move. It adds 1.4 million square feet of production space and 1,000 new jobs to the existing 2,500 employees in the region. For regions in North Carolina that were hit so hard by textile shortages decades ago, these kinds of jobs change what these communities can do. So we're excited to see that. The construction is set to be completed between 2027 and 2029. They're working, but that's a good ways away. Lars Frøgaard Jorgensen, president and CEO of Novo Nordisk, said this investment is a clear signal of their efforts to scale up production to meet the growing global demand for life-changing medicines. Overall, Novo Nordisk plans to invest $6.8 billion in production this year, almost doubling its $3.9 billion investment last year. So, did you know around 35,000 U.S. patients are now starting on Wegovy each week? Eli Lilly, another big player in the weight loss world with treatments like Zepbound and Mounjaro, obviously we know them well, also has production plants in North Carolina, as we said, not too far from our home in Concord. So they're building, they're spending. I don't know that they can spend fast enough to keep up.
Yeah, they can't.
Story number 5.
In 2023, Americans paid 10 times more for Ozempic than patients in the UK. That's $936 a month versus just $93. So US pays $936, UK patients pay $93. And Wegovy, it costs $13.49 a month in the U.S., while in the Netherlands, it's only $2.96. Maybe we should fly to the Netherlands, stock up, come back. The massive price difference has caught the attention of Senator Bernie Sanders. We've covered this story before. Bernie is a vocal critic of the pharmaceutical industry and is now targeting the high costs of these life-changing drugs. Sanders is the chairman of the powerful Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee, and he's ready to take action. Go Bernie. Sanders said, "What we're focusing on right now is what may end up being one of the best-selling pharmaceutical products in the history of humanity, and that is Ozempic."
Apparently doesn't even know about Zepbound yet.
Yeah. Bernie, have you heard about Mounjaro and Zepbound? Sanders is gearing up to confront Jorgensen, the CEO of Novo Nordisk, the Danish company that makes both drugs. Under a threat of a subpoena, Jorgensen has agreed to testify before Sanders' committee in September. Sanders knows it's going to be a tough fight. You're taking on a company which will make billions of dollars every single year, many billions of dollars from the U.S. on just this product. Do I think this is going to be a difficult challenge? I do, Bernie said.
We got 3 stories from Novo Nordisk. They're expanding, they're spending, they're going to go visit and do a little dance with Bernie.
Was it say September?
Yep.
So, hopefully this pressure put on these major manufacturers will lower the price, increase the production. I think they're going to do whatever they want to do, which is gear up production and sell more and make more money. But they just can't seem to do it fast enough.
This committee's done some amazing work with getting the price of insulin down, and so they've impacted other medical spaces. So we'll see what happens with them.
If you'd like to come on our show, I do a weekly series, Christopher does too, called The Downsized Dish, where we interview people and talk to them about their GLP-1 journeys. So if you're just starting out, if you're in the middle of your journey, if you've lost 100 pounds, if you're in maintenance, all those stories, somebody out there has a story that can relate to yours. So I invite you to come on our show. Send me an email at ldurham@folio28.com and we'll get you set up. Also, every week we've been doing a live event on YouTube. We usually do it on Thursday, but since this Thursday is Independence Day, 4th of July, we're going to move it to July 3rd. Please join us Wednesday, July 3rd at 7 p.m. and where we take questions and we'll do a live YouTube show.
And then one final piece that we have soft launched our website for the downsized. It's thedownsized.org.
Make sure you put the in there.
Yeah, it's thedownsized.org. Absolutely. I'll put it in the description as well. Take a look at it. There's still a lot of work to be done on it. There's probably some links that don't quite go to the right place right now. I've got to go through and click on everything. But the general idea is we talk, particularly in the news, about a lot of different things. We want to be able to give you links out to the various resources that we mentioned. We created an Amazon affiliate store because a lot of you ask about what kind of scale do you use?
Yeah, people have asked about the products that we use. We make a small commission as an Amazon affiliate on these products, but we just wanted to put them out there just for you guys to buy if you want to.
And they're all things that we have used. And the biggest caveat I would tell you is you can start your journey all by yourself. You don't need to buy any of this stuff. These are just things that have worked for us.
Things we found helpful along the way.
Yep, just found helpful. Some of them pretty cool. You know, it's fun. She's a big Ninja Creamy fan right now.
We do love our Ninja Creamy.
We just got one, so it's fascinating to the whole family these days.
Yeah.
But take a look at the website. If you see any mistakes, if you see anything we need to add, let me know. Always happy to have feedback on that. This is just Lorraine and I doing it. There's a lot of work that could be done, but it gives us a home for the downsized to be able to communicate with you. You can join our mailing list. I think I said on the weekly weigh-in, in the last couple of months, the folks on TikTok have really seen how when rules change on social media, you can lose your voice. We want to make sure that we have a way to communicate and talk with all of you on a daily basis. Take a look, thedownsized.org. And that's our news for the week. Please, if you have not already, like and subscribe. We continue to grow and we're excited every week when we do. And my name is Christopher Durham.
I'm Lorraine Durham.
And this has been The Downsized News. Thank you very much.